It's April 6, 2024. The NBA season is winding down. I did, the day before Easter, a little East Coast rant on the NBA and under the Kangapoda covers, which I'll do quite in a second. And by the way, check it out. I was reasonably on point and prescient with my comments. But today we're gonna do another NBA rant with an emphasis on West Coast, and I'll try to really tear through it. But boy, the West Coast is so good. They really are. There's a lot of real exciting teams, and they're all bunched up. All right, let's do it. We're gonna go under the Kangapoda. Let me take the slippers off. And we're going to go under the covers. And by the way, what you'll see is I mentioned in the last time how my starting point was that I used to get calf cramps fighting tight covers. But there are people with gout or diabetes who have neuropathy. They can't even tolerate the pressure of a sheet on their toes. So it is really nice. People with arthritis, tender toes, again, fighting the sheet. It's hard on the feet. And we spend more time like this under the covers than ever before because of remote controls in the hand, because of tablets, reading, and TV, right? I mean, we're watching TV at the end of the day, and it's nice to spend a little time under the covers before rolling over and calling it a night. Back to the NBA. Here we go. And I'll try to tear through this, but there's so much to really discuss. All right, here we go. Good, that's a decent prop. All right, Golden State Warriors. You know what? Before I even get into the Golden State Warriors, let me talk about last night's Iowa-UConn game. Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers. God, the women's game, good for the ladies, good for everyone. That it's been such a huge success. But I'm going to start by talking about the final call, the offensive foul that was called on a moving pick, on a block. It was a good call. No one wanted to see it. It was sad. I mean, happened at a tough time, but it was an aggressive offensive foul that occurred. And I know you don't want to call it, just let him play. And why did I lead with this right now? Because I'm going to talk about Golden State, and what you saw there is what Draymond Green has done for his entire career. He does that same thing 15 to 20 times a game. Yes, he is Stephen Curry's personal bodyguard. It has worked just fabulously well. Stephen Curry is that kind of a talent. You just need to free him up. But Draymond Green has been dirty his entire career. And, you know, the truth is Golden State's management has made a decision to support and back and encourage that. And you live by the sword and you die by the sword. And it's, as we've seen, it's a real problem. From punching teammates in the face to putting players in chokeholds and swinging punches, the constant groin kicks, and in the past, the man, he might be a lovely guy, and you've given him podcasts. He's just a dirty player, and he's a triple single. I haven't been a fan of Charles Barkley as much recently, but that's a very, very pictorial statement. The man's a triple single, and it's worked on Golden State. Good luck anywhere else. All right, I'm going to keep moving. I'm not sure what Golden State can do this year. They're obviously evolving, aging. They're exciting as hell to watch still. I'm going to move along. OKC. They're really exciting. What Sam Presti has done and accumulated all kinds of draft assets and this young squad, they're really wonderful. Except I just don't know that they have enough juice to really go. And certainly we're seeing without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they lose. See how comfortable? It's just real comfortable. I'm going to keep going and stay with it. Shout out to the Houston Rockets. We got to give them a shout out. What they've done in the past couple of months without Alfred Şengün, their big man, it's been outstanding. I mean, and everyone forgot how great Şengün is because Jalen Green exploded, Van Fleet's played well, Amen Thompson has been great. Anyhow, they're a very exciting team. They're not going to catch Golden State, but they really made it fun. And look out for them next year. They're a terrific, terrific young team. And good for their coach, Ime. He's really done a hell of a job. All right, Mavericks. It's hard to work with this stupid thumb. The Mavericks. All right, here's the real question I keep coming down to. Is Kyrie Irving an anchor, ultimately? A gilded anchor, got it. What he can do, it's showy, it's unbelievable. But is he a real asset when it will come down to it? Or is it a liability because you still have to try to cater to him and make him feel good? And we will see. But the Mavericks are a great team, and as you heard from my last rant, I believe Luka is the league's MVP. All right, I'm going to whip through Clippers really quick. Comfortable feet, just relaxed. Okay. Kawhi Leonard's great, although he's not the killer he used to be. Paul George is really their high-volume scorer. He's just unbelievable, but he's a bit in a lurch because is he coming back? Is he not coming back? But he's terrific. But let's talk about James Harden, because what James Harden did was a couple of weeks ago where he went out to block Kawhi Leonard's, his own player's shot, was mind-boggling. It wasn't funny. It wasn't cute. And by the way, I don't believe it was done intentionally. We talk about players who when their careers are over, they'll come back and they'll talk about they played and they were really hungover. Or I don't know what was remotely going through James Harden's mind. Whether he had too much strip club on the brain or otherwise, but the message that it sent to the team, to the culture, is that he's in another world. And that's enough to tear the fabric of a team, let alone to his own personal desires to be resigned. I thought it was idiocy. So I know everyone's let him off the hook, big stuff. What a stupid, stupid thing. And it's enough to rend the fabric of an organization. So I don't think the Clippers are going to make it just because of that. By the way, James Harden also, I'm the system. Oh, okay. So if LeBron says I'm the system, well, his system is a commitment to excellence by everyone, from management on down. Well, James Harden's system is what? I do what I want when I want to do. I've mastered the art of gaming the system and try to rip through and get offensive fouls that get shooting fouls. which they're not calling as much anymore. And I go back and forth between my legs 1,000 times. Anyhow, the James Harden system, its time may have ended. Suns, I'm rooting for the Suns. I think the big thing with the Suns, they have to realize the engine is Devin Booker. Devin Booker is he's just amazing. Kevin Durant, be cool. You're the most amazing second option ever. And by the way, that might be who you are. But even at your greatest, you weren't ever the engine. You're the greatest complementary scoring thing ever. That's my opinion. And good. Let's talk about Denver. Denver's a great team. Nikola Jokic, I mean, the Joker is just amazing. And again, whether he should be MVP and MVP again, I believe it should be Luka Doncic, but he's great. But Denver is a great assembled team. Perfect, particularly for to 7 down. They're just terrific and fun to watch. All right. I'm going to do an interesting Lakers rant. All right, LeBron, good for you that you can shoot 3-pointers. Now, good for you. You've really, the way that you've evolved your game, it's very, very special. D'Lo disappears. AD can't match up properly with Joker or even a Sabonis. I'm not going to cover Sacramento. They're an exciting team. I'm not going to do it right now. But I'm going to go back to the Lakers because one of the big things that's going on is Bronny James declaring that he's going to go to the NBA. And when you think about it, big surprise, because Bronny James was very disappointing this year. We know he had all the medical stuff. None of us really know. We don't know how good he could be. But on his own, but for LeBron James, he's arguably not even NBA ready. Maybe never will be. So this is the greatest opportunity to leverage LeBron for backhanded nepotism, because if LeBron plays only one more year and Bronny James didn't declare, it wasn't, in the draft, went back to college, it's possible that Bronny James would never be drafted. It's possible. We don't know what he would do in his second year. So do it right now. LeBron will pull him in. He'll at least get into the league, and then we'll see. It's very strategic. It's very smart. And I'm going to add one other interesting thing. I think there's a really strong possibility that LeBron James winds up next year in Philadelphia playing with Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is an absolute monster. I've talked about it a variety of times. I'm a big fan. Let's watch Philly. I think they're coming out of the East, even over Boston. Let's watch. But they have cap space. And boy, LeBron, always looking for his legacy and to make history. He could go and win a championship with a 4th different team, right? Miami and Cleveland and LA, and now going to Philly, playing with Joel Embiid. And they need that kind of position, that kind of, and playing with Maxey and watch, they'd be smart enough that they'll draft Bronny James. And again, you heard it here. It's just a thought. I know that LeBron loves LA, but he has his beachhead now. He'll wind up back in LA, but a 2-year stint in Philly would be, I think it would be brilliant, because I don't think he's going to win in LA, but I do think he could maybe win 2 more times in Philly, and that would just vault him over all kinds of things. Okay, that's my rant for today. It's finally starting to warm up, maybe in the East Coast. My feet are real comfortable. I added some other things, diabetics, arthritics, not just calf crampers. But for all you normal folk who don't have any medical conditions, being comfortable under the covers is a real big deal. Thank you. Thumbs up for feet up. This is Hal Nitz. Peace.